Hello, it's me. Would you like to hear what we have to say at 10:20? It is I, Jacob Moore, the self-proclaimed sports analyst, joined by a very happy Lane Dashing Dashko after the Hamilton Tiger Cats got a very big win, and I'm going to say a grumpy Dan, because he predicted Hamilton was going to have 0 touchdowns this game for some bizarre reason, and that certainly did not happen, Mr. Moore.
It's okay. You gotta have fun when you make your picks too, right? And I predicted 0 touchdowns, 0 field goals, and 0 sacks.
Remember, hard when you have streakers near, not far.
So it looks like I'll be ahead of Dan in the CFL pick'em on my first week.
That's right, you would be.
Hey, but you know what? I
can catch up, Mo.
The beautiful thing is tonight everybody got streaker points.
That's
because Lane picked Hamilton, Dan and I picked Calgary.
I picked Saskatchewan.
Yeah.
Well, then Dan, you just suck. But I got streaker points. Lane got streaker points. Dan just got loser points.
Yeah, literally.
But I gotta say, Lane, I thought we were gonna have a grumpy Lane tonight. I really thought Hamilton was gonna lose this one. I thought Ottawa's defense was playing great, and I thought the offense.
Lane's never grumpy. He yells, so he's not grumpy.
Well, angry Lane.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. I'm usually in a good mood, except for
we do get a cranky Jakey, but Lane's not grumpy. Lane just yells at the it's water.
Don't get me started. But
I gotta say though,
at the crab table right now.
This pains me to say, by the way. It's like I might choke a little bit. Right now, Hamilton is the best team in the East, and it's not even close. I think they're
now. I have a reminder for Mr. Dasko and all the Ticats fans listening. Before you all get too cocky, you have not been 500 for 1,330 days, and you have not been 500 since 21. In that span, when the Argos sucks, they have won 2 Grey Cups.
The thing is, Dan, I'm sorry, but I don't live in the past. I live in the present. And right now, Hamilton...
You're not helping your case here, bud.
Between Kenny Lawler and Bo Levi Mitchell, it is the best duo. Because everyone goes on about best receiver. And, yeah, receivers are great, but without a quarterback that can't throw them the ball, they're useless. So Mitchell and Lawler right now are the best duo in the CFL.
Well, here's $1 million question. I agree with you. Lawler is the best. I will say... Lewis had a very good quiet game as well, 127 yards. He technically had more yardage than Lauer, but Lauer had the 2 touchdowns. But he did play well too. But here's $1 million question. Since Lauer is playing so well, and I think his name is Timothy. Timothy White played so bad. Does Timothy have to go back to school? And is Timothy getting cut from the Ticats?
I don't think he's getting cut. But
what do you think, Mr. Dasko? I might play a pretty bad game.
I mean, yeah, he was bad, but like I said to Jacob off camera, I look at this game as a really, honestly, this is a good game for Hamilton. I mean, you didn't even play.
Oh, for sure.
Like, honestly, if we're being brutally honest, you played like DL double dog poop.
You always have to be honest, Lane. No lying on the island.
And to keep a PG there, but you didn't play well. Your starting quarterback had a rough night. Your offense had a rough night. Your defense, I think, was incredible, which usually in Hamilton, our defense is usually top notch. But as I look at the offensive side of the ball, Kenny Lawler had a rough game. Our rushing wasn't great. Tim White couldn't catch a ball if it was glued to his hands.
Yeah,
even if he was wearing magic glue, he still couldn't catch it.
Yeah.
But I look at this and I go, this is a game that, you look at it, you didn't play well, and you found a way to win. What have we been saying about the Blue Jays? Right?
Exactly.
You find ways
Yes.
to win, right?
Yeah, no, I agree with you, Lane.
And Hamilton tonight, due to their credit, they were down
100%.
the entire game until the fat lady was about to sing the words. There was 2 minutes left in the game, and they were losing, and they needed to get a touchdown. And they tried off the Pimpleton mishap, which I'll talk about in a minute, because I just think that's ridiculous. Shades is checked in. Red Sox are the worst, and Hamilton almost lost it. Yeah, they did. It was pretty crazy, but Shades must not be. He's an Ottawa fan, right?
Yeah, he is.
Unfortunately for
He's
Mr.
a ticket
Shades.
holder.
Baby. Sorry,
Oh.
But I gotta say
I
this
don't
here
care about
for
the millennium of 2025. So yeah, 26 years.
I will say though, like Ottawa and Lane, I do agree with you. Good teams
I'm
find
kidding.
ways to win, and that's
Yeah.
all fine and dandy. But at the end of the day, Ottawa could have put the nail in the coffin in this game so
They
many
could've.
times.
They
I'm
really could've.
going to go all the way back to the second quarter, and they don't even try a 45-yard field goal. Goes, oh, it's windy. Like, come on. You have a good kicker. Trust your kicker and trust your team, your special teams, that if he misses the field goal, that they can make a play. Ottawa is they're the team that in hockey would get a 1-0 lead and then play shutdown defense for the next 58 minutes.
Well, that's what
100%.
And what drives me bonkers about the Red Blacks is
Bonkers.
they had this game under control
They did.
and they just kind of pooped the bed. And unless you're Amber Heard, that makes you famous. But Lane, I will say to you, I do agree with your assessment on Hamilton. They found a way to win. They outscored Ottawa 10-0 in that fourth quarter, even after getting shut down and at 3rd and goal, 5 yards away, after Tim White also just decides to not being able to catch a ball. And
I had a question.
Shades, you know what? Funny enough, man, I was saying this to the fam that I wonder if Tommy Condell, their OC, is potentially getting the boot.
Well, I had a question for Shades because Shades would know a lot better than me. I want to know about the coach. I feel like there's back-to-back weeks now where I've watched and I just feel like, even though I ranted about the Argos head coach, at least you guys made a good point. He's had success.
Right.
Even though he said something silly in there, at least he's had 2 Grey Cups to his name. But I'm looking here now. This is the second week now where it's these little things, man. Getting your receivers to just face. They said how do you not know in CFL football after all this? You know what I mean? How do you not know after all this experience? How do you not know how to square your body up to a ball to receive a punt return?
No, I gotta agree with you, Lane.
That's two times they did it.
The one that drove me the most nuts was challenging the block from behind. That was a 50-50 chance at best. And then you couldn't challenge the Peters interception. That was defensive pass interference. That shouldn't have counted because you blew a challenge on an earlier play. And the special
I
teams
didn't see
Ottawa
any PI there, to be honest with you.
That's because they only showed it on one angle and you were snoring. But I mean, you know what, Shades, Ottawa's got a tough go because they did lose to Edmonton. And if we're looking at the standings right now, both Toronto and Ottawa are fighting for 3rd in the East, and they also need to make sure they're better currently than BC and the Elks to not have a crossover.
Your only win was that off rainy game.
The weird rainy game. So funny enough, a little bit of a weirdness here. Your only win is with Dustin Crum at quarterback.
That's bad.
Yeah.
Right? And
that's true.
I'm not saying I blame this game on Drew Brown, but both interceptions were bad throws, right? He made some good plays as well. But I was expecting Drew Brown to take some steps today, and I actually don't think he looked any better than when he did last week.
I hate to say it, I think Drew Brown's getting worse since last year. Last year, Ottawa
100%. He's a lot worse than last year.
Last year, Ottawa had a winning record. They made the playoffs. Okay, this team's going to get better. Yeah, the Argos beat them in the playoff game, but that's okay. They made the dance. And that game against Toronto 2 years ago was a tight game. It's okay, this year they got some good pieces in the offseason. This year we're going to be better. I called it here on the Island in our preseason show. I thought Ottawa's going to be really good, and I don't know what happened.
And Shades, that's a great question. I don't I have heard that this draft class is going to be better this year, but I don't see Ottawa throwing it because they're still in the playoff race right now, as much as they've been terrible.
Well,
But my bigger question to Ottawa is, why aren't you running the ball more? You had 10 carries between the two running backs. You brought in two good running backs in William Stanback and Dan
boy.
So run the damn ball. Because you were averaging William Stanback 7 carries, 40 yards, a touchdown, averaging 5.7 yards a carry.
Well, that touchdown, he was wide open.
Three carries, 13 yards, 4.3 yards per carry. I'm just looking at it, and it's like, you know what? Take some pressure off Drew Brown. I even thought in that final drive of the game, you only needed a field goal. You had almost 2 minutes. In the CFL, that's an eternity. Run the ball a little bit.
Yeah.
Because Hamilton's playing back, right? So when a defense is playing back, so think about this, right? When they're all playing back, you have that about 5 to 10 yard space wide freaking open. Like, for example, what the Argonauts did against the Rough Riders, that our most favorite overhated analyst Luke Wilson complained about. It's taking what the defense is giving you. Right. And so what you do there is if you run the ball and mix in some short to medium throws, Ottawa might be able to methodically drive down the field. And yet, Shades, I'm with you 100%. Last year, they didn't run the ball because they didn't have a running back.
Right.
They cut Armstead because apparently he was a jerk, even though he was on pace for 1,000 yards that year. And that's really when this team started to. This year, they go and get 2 good running backs. And the one game they won was a running game. Anababoye and Stanback took over that game.
In the bad weather.
I just want to see Ottawa run the ball more. I felt today they only ran the ball in like 2nd and 3s, which is so obvious you're going to run the ball that they just load up the box. So on that final
why not run a first down?
Run on first down a little more, maybe even run on some 2nd and mediums just to keep the defense guessing.
Yeah.
And I don't know, Ottawa too took some really costly penalties. They didn't take a lot of penalties, but the penalties they took were brutal. Now, when I'm saying all this, we still also have to give the Hamilton Tiger Cats, not Tiger Crap. Sorry, Lane. But, you know, Bo Levi Mitchell had an off night and found a way to put together one drive when he needed it. Kenny Lawler only made 6 out of 10 catches, targeted 10 times, only caught 6. But out of those 6, he managed to put together 2 touchdowns. Tim White was on the field and was there.
Although
Tim White was, even though he had 60 yards on 4 catches, I personally thought Tim White was terrible. 11 targets, 4 receptions, and especially that one that should have given Hamilton the lead earlier. Go ahead, Lane.
Well, that's the thing. Honestly, I could be wrong. Maybe I'm going to get the clown book here. I actually don't fault that one on Tim White. I think Bo Levi Mitchell kind of like got like a little excited to be getting. It felt like he overthrew him.
It's a catchable ball, Lane. That's a catchable ball.
Felt high. It looked high to me.
Yeah, but Tim
White soared.
But Tim White too, instead of trying to jump and do a 360 no scope, just could have taken another step. He had time.
I don't know.
It's not like he was out of room. It was a little overthrown, Lane. I do agree with you. But then how about on the next drive on a 1st and 10, he's wide open. The ball literally just goes through his hands. Like he borrowed some of Diddy's baby oil. Like, I don't know what's going on.
I'm not saying he played well. He didn't.
Honestly, I've never been a huge Tim White fan. I've always felt he's trying to replace Brandon Banks. And I don't think you've ever replaced Brandon Banks. Like,
no, he's a Hall of Famer for
sure. Like, I think Kenny Lawler is now what Steven Dunbar used to be, but 10 times better. I think.
Well, you just look at that Hamilton team. Well, I poked fun in 21, right? But you look at a Hamilton team and made back-to-back Grey Cups in 21 and 20 or whatever. And you had Hall of Fame guys like Brandon Banks and what?
Chad Owens, right?
Yep, Chad Owens.
Oh, man, that hurts.
And then you had a really good defenseman. Jacob.
That team was, you had Simone Lawrence. Like,
thank you, Simone Lawrence. Like, you really.
However,
always made the Hall of Fame, by the way. He had some really good Hall of Fame players. And Hamilton hasn't really recovered since. So maybe
I actually don't agree with you. I think Hamilton's finally connected everything. You brought in Jamal Peters, who had 2 interceptions tonight. You brought in Deshaun Amos, who had 3 knockdowns.
Wake
You
up,
brought in
Oilers.
Kasantonitz, who's really stabilized the middle. You brought in Dwayne Hendricks, who is a very good defensive lineman.
He was
You
already
brought
on
in Kenny
1.2, was he?
Lawler to give Mitchell someone he can just throw a hope and a prayer up for a 50-50 ball, and 9 times out of 10, he's going to get it. So I think this is I'm curious, Lane, if you agree with me. I think this roster is the best they've had since the back-to-back Grey Cup.
Oh, 100%.
Not that they won those, but like back-to-back Grey Cup appearances. This is the best roster.
Oh, for sure. I think this is a
scary.
really good team.
Like I said, I'll be honest, if I'm a team in the Eastern, I'm scared because I'm looking at this going, man, if this is them on their worst night, what are they like on their best night?
Yeah, exactly.
Scary. I mean, I know you might say, well, Ottawa's not that great of a team. It doesn't. At the end of the day, you won the game on the bad. You didn't play well, and you still picked up the 2 points in the box score.
As much as we say Ottawa is a bad team, they had the lead to what, 57, 58 minutes?
They literally
they're not that bad of a team. They're just having some bad luck, in my opinion. And what I 100% agree with you, Lane. I said the same thing off camera with the Blue Jays when Hoffman gave up 3 ones and then I'm saving the game on the 9th inning. I say good teams find a way to win. That's how I feel about the Tiger Cats this year. They're a good team, and they're going to find a way to win. And now they're over 500. And let's face it, you got Montreal, who has lost 2 straight, and Toronto and Ottawa. So the East is a weak component this year.
Now, okay, but nothing against McLeod Bethel Thompson. The guy, ever since Ryan Dinwiddie's not his coach, doesn't seem to know how to win games. He puts up good stat lines. He's a decent quarterback. Dan, he's won 3 starts or 3 or 4 since.
Okay, look at it. He's on bloody Edmonton. Like,
okay, Trey Ford was over 500 that year in Edmonton. No excuse. No excuse. Vernon Adams Jr. is missing his top 2 receivers, and he's dominating. No excuse. But what I want to point out for Hamilton, Hamilton's got a bit of a chance here to run away with things a little bit. And
I think so.
And because they got the Red Blacks on the 20th, Lions 27th. Then you have
Argos are coming too, right?
On the 2nd, Lions on the 7th, Riders on the 16th. On happy birthday, Dan. And then you play the Argos Labor Day, the Labor Day Classic. Let's be honest here. Between then and Labor Day,
a lot of winnable games.
6 games between now and Labor Day, including the Labor Day one. I think Hamilton could win 4 to 6.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. They should beat the Red Blacks again. Sorry, Shades. They should beat the Lions and the Elks and the Lions. Rough Riders, as much as we'll get into that game in a minute, I thought the Riders looked really bad today. Riders are a good team.
Yeah.
And the Argos are going to be circling that game on the 1st because that's a must-win game for Toronto of losing the first one in that series, right? Because
as much as I would love to say it, come on. We all know the Ticats aren't going to beat the Argos undefeated again 2 straight seasons. I'm not that naive. If they're eventually going to win a game.
Well, and also, too, let's be honest here. I think Toronto, once McManus and Kelly are back, are a very different team.
You guys better hope so.
Well, they are.
Hope so.
I mean, the defense without McManus it looks lost.
Winton McManus is a special player. He's arguably the best defensive.
I think he's the best linebacker in the CFL.
My problem is just, I know you guys are going to say that's not going to happen, and you guys are probably right. I just get scared for what happened with last year. You don't want to get yourself.
Well, it could happen again.
Like, what if you're 1-6, 1-7, and then it's like even if you get your guys back, it's like, well.
Oh, I've said for Toronto, their next 3 games, they got to win 2 of them. You got to beat Winnipeg once, and you need to beat Montreal next week if you're the Argonauts.
If you lose those games, you're
task. But they got to do it. Now, Chad Kelly could be back as of this week. And we'll find out more by Monday or Tuesday once the Argos start practicing. But all I'm saying is for him. Now, mind you, the only thing I'm curious, Lane, and I want your perspective on this because you've been a Ticats fan for a long time since you came out of the womb. Could you see this team getting a little overconfident? Because I could see that.
I actually don't think so.
They've done it in the past.
Yeah, but
he even talked about it with me off camera with Kenny Lawler, how him and Mitchell were going on. If you don't double team us, blah blah blah. And look, they didn't connect as well tonight. They found a way to win, which again, I'm going to argue, Ottawa found a way to lose.
Yeah,
more than Hamilton found. I'm sorry, when Hamilton didn't convert on that 3rd and 5 from the goal line, Ottawa should have won the game after that.
But that's the thing. Give credit where credit's due. Ottawa's defense played very well.
I don't care. Ottawa lost that game between the bad special teams, the drop punt, the penalty on the Pimbleton touchdown, the lack of urgency on offense. Yes, Hamilton did what they needed to do and came up with plays at the right moment. But the Red Blacks completely Amber Hearded this game.
Yeah.
That's
They
going to
did.
be our new term because we can't swear. Or else YouTube's like, "Ugh, you're mean."
Can I just
I don't
say
know.
poo-poo? They
Yeah,
pooped
Amber
the
Heard is
bed?
funnier.
Yeah, true.
She
You know
literally
what?
did poop the bed.
I thought the Jays get overconfident when winning too many games. But,
Oh, they do.
but apparently I was wrong about that. They lost one and got right back on the horse. And won.
Okay, but they almost
There was
blew
one
a
game,
7-1
though.
lead in 2 innings.
Still won.
Yeah, but
Doesn't have to be pretty. You still win the game.
you had Scherzer trying to think about the 8th inning when he was still in the 6th. Then you had Hoffman forgetting that the not throw it right down the middle of the plate. I'm still not fully sold on this Jays team yet. Until they start doing this in September and finish off July and August strong,
My
I'm
point is
not
just,
sold yet because the Yankees cannot be this bad for the rest of the year.
I guess what I'm just trying to say is, you look at how they started the first half, right? They were 0-5, and then all of a sudden they found magic in a bottle and became the best team in the East. They just
Well,
finished short because of an 0-5
since
start.
we're talking about it, at the moment, the Jays are up 1-0.
Yeah, I put that in the chat.
Oh, okay. I saw it.
We get to see Lane. That's a beautiful picture of Lane, by the way.
Yeah,
It's very nice.
but yeah, I don't know. I just,
Bottom second.
I'm being brutally honest. I just said you guys told me, like, especially you guys told me, because I did tune out a bit last year, but you said Hamilton, once that 0-5 start, became one of the better teams in the East.
They did.
The second half, they were like the second half. They were like the second half heroes. They started out with the 0-2. They have 2 close games that were. I mean, the scoreboard didn't look close, but they weren't that well, like badly played games.
No.
Saskatchewan and Calgary, they were all winnable games. There's like little mistakes here, and then they finally got a win, a big win. They beat the Argos. Now they beat the Red Blacks.
They've
Now
won
this
3
team's
straight.
on a roll again. Yeah, they've won 3 straight. Now this team's on a roll again, and they've got Kenny Lawler here, who, even though he might be cocky and maybe shouldn't be saying double teamy, they do have 2 all-stars that can kind of anchor this offense. And I really like this defense. I think this defense, even though Simone Lawrence is not on the team anymore, which is a painful thing because he was such a great defensive player for the Ticats, the DNA of this team ever since I've been a kid has been this defense, and it still feels like it is in a way. They're making big plays,
Your defense was great tonight for Hamilton.
like even after the turnover on, like, I'll be honest with you, when we had the turnover on downs, I was kind of like, well, I guess you've lost this game. This game's over. You're gonna see the Red Blacks, but they made, they stopped them on the second play there. Got a key interception earlier in the game. They made good plays when they had to. They stopped Ottawa coming down the field again the second time with that last minute there. They made the plays. The defense always steps up for this team, even when the offense doesn't. And I feel like the offense is better this year because you have Lawler and you have Bo Levi Mitchell. And like you said, all it takes is one play for those two to just be like, they could struggle. They could throw the ball 13 times at each other and never happen. All it takes is one 40-yard throw to change the game.
You're right.
And
But
I feel like as long as Scott Milovanovic, is that his name?
Yeah.
I thought I had this wrong. As long as he, I thought I said his name wrong. Like, that's something right.
You're close enough.
Milanovic, right?
Yeah.
I thought it was Milovanovic. I'm like, that's not right.
Well,
Milanovic. As long as he keeps his team head on straight, I really feel like, we saw that like inconsistency with Bo Levi Mitchell and that coach, where it kind of felt like they weren't connecting. It's starting to feel like maybe they're getting on the same page now. So hopefully there's some more chemistry there. Like I said, I look at this game as not a success. You don't really want to copy what you did, but you look at tonight and go, well, we can win games like that. We can win any game if we play better.
100%.
We clean up these little things. We can win almost any game.
Yeah.
however, Kenny Lawler has not played a full season the last 4 years
True.
because he always has
He gets
injury
hurt.
problems. And I think if and not, by the way, this is not me hoping he gets injured. I never want to see injuries. But if he does get hurt or Bo
Then
Levi
what?
Mitchell gets hurt,
Then what?
and that's the problem, right? Because Hamilton doesn't really have a running game because Greg Bell can't seem to stay healthy. And even when he's in, it's not it's inconsistent.
Who's their backup quarterback again?
Taylor Powell, who's good, but he doesn't have that arm strength that Bo Levi Mitchell does, right?
And who's
No, I
the other
gotta-
one?
I don't remember who their third string is, but it's like I don't know, someone.
Now I got a question for Jacob because you would know more than I do. Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
I don't know. You would know more than me. Like, do teams like kind of trade all like would a bad team, maybe
No.
trade Hamilton a receiver? Not really.
There's not really a lot of trades in the Canadian Football League. You might see 1 to 2 trades by deadline. That's about it. Everything's done in the off season. But I'm very curious to see how Ottawa responds next week against Hamilton, and I'm very, very curious to see how Hamilton does on their on their 3-game road trip, starting in Ottawa, then going to BC, then going to Edmonton. Because I'm going to say this, BC and Edmonton are also both heating up a little bit, so I don't think they're going to be necessarily easy games, right? I don't think there is an easy game in the CFL. I think any team can beat any team on any given night. We see it all the time. But congratulations to the Hamilton Tiger Cats on getting a big win. I think they needed this win because now they're first in the East. They push Ottawa even further down. Toronto now moves to third in the East with another loss by Ottawa. However, technically, if the playoffs started today, it would be the BC Lions as the crossover team.
Wow.
However, like I said, Toronto does play BC.
Game.
Toronto does play BC a couple times still, so I'm not counting the Red Blacks out yet either. Red Blacks could win next week at home against Hamilton, and all of a sudden things are right back up, right? And we've seen Hamilton. They are an up and down team. Montreal's been up and down this year. They won their first couple, and then now they've lost a couple in a row. So it's still too early in the season. But if you're a Ticats fan, this is the best you've felt about this team probably since 2020.
Well, for sure. One more question before we move on to Saskatchewan, Calgary, because I want your opinion.
If you want,
I want to ask about Khalil Plimpton.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think there's some like I don't know, maybe I'm just over exaggerating here. Do you think there's some pressure, like if you don't clean this up, like we're gonna DFA you? Like that's
no.
That's 2 weeks in a row now where I feel like this one guy is making so many mistakes. I'm like, bro, what are you doing? Last year was the offsides. This week he can't catch a punt return.
Remember, one of those punt returns that he dropped at the end of the game, the kick return, was actually stand back. That punt return was bad.
No, he dropped it before.
He did, yes, but I mean the other one was stand back.
No, I know. I'm just saying, but
yeah,
I'm watching his body. Like I don't know.
To be honest, Pimbleton looked rattled after his kick return didn't count, and I think that's just a young player who's rattled. But the problem is, as long as Devontae Dedmon is injured, you can't get rid of Pimbleton. You don't have anyone else who can return kicks, and he's explosive. He is explosive. He's had some games last year where it was one game, his first game in the CFL, he put up 189 yards and 3 touchdowns.
True.
Like this kid's explosive. I think they just need that offense. Just got to get on the same page. They got to get more creative. Get your playmakers involved more. Eugene Lewis is not your only receiver. Yes, Lewis had a big game, but you threw the ball to him way too much, even when he was covered.
Did you notice what I'm talking about?
I do. He looked him and Bob Dice were not getting along tonight.
No, for whatever
at
reason.
All. And Kyle Pimbleton looked pissed at his team, and I don't like that attitude from a player. No. But Ottawa can't make the mistake they did with Armstead last year. You don't have anyone else, so you have to make him work. If you want to look into different options next year, fine. But right now, you have no one else that can return kicks until Devontae Dedmon is healthy. When Devontae Dedmon is healthy, then if you want to reevaluate, fine. But right now, or let's say Ottawa loses the next 3 weeks and they're basically cooked. If you want to get a guy out for an attitude issue, fine. But right now, you need someone that can return kicks because kick returning in the CFL is a critical way. It's not like in the NFL, you just go, "Hi, don't touch me," and just catch the ball, right? It's a different league where there has to be kick returns.
So right now, every kick returns are exclusive touchdown. So you get an extra 5-10 yards to start your drive for the offense. Those are key.
They are. So, Lane, for your question on that is, could I see Pimbleton being in some trouble 3 weeks down the road? Yeah, if he doesn't clean up his act and clean up his attitude. I do agree with you. There was times it didn't look like the right attitude to me. But as of right now, No, I think he's got to be on the roster.
Is this the like? I don't know if this is just a box score. It says he only got 6 yards on 4 catches, but then it says he
Yes,
also
but
got
that
13.
remember they was only using him in the screen passing game, which Hamilton was reading that like I read the I read the zoo book on the NHL draft. Which, by the way, the NHL says they're never doing a draft that way again.
I thought they are. I thought they said they're doing the decentralized draft.
Oh, maybe I misread that. That's
No, they are doing it like that.
Ugh.
It's gonna be the Wizard of Oz next year. Don't worry.
Oh my gosh! You know what? We'll probably still go live just for you folks, though, as much as it'll be painful.
I heard although we don't want to get too off topic, they did say they are going to work on making it a bit quicker. Like they're
A bit quicker.
A bit.
A bit. Cut it by 70%.
You guys laugh. It was faster than the NBA one.
Okay, but the NBA, that's not a high bar.
No, I'm just saying the NBA one was like 8 hours, and they only had like the 5th pick and was like 10 a.m. 10
That's
p.m.
like saying someone's a fast runner because they can run a quarter mile faster than Dan and I. Like, that's still pretty bad if you're slightly faster than us. We're both slow as hell running. That is, we're very smart.
I did hear
Oh,
they want
Lane,
to.
you think you're faster than us?
I can't run, so I wouldn't know.
Oh, okay.
But let's move on to the Calgary Saskatchewan game. And
on that bombshell,
I thought this would be the game of the week. And it was the game of the week for Calgary.
Yeah.
I mean, VA 28 for 36, 428, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. But I mean, the second interception was just an elite play. The first one was a bad throw. But I mean, Dedrick Mills too. And this is the big thing for me. Dedrick Mills, 14 carries, 85 yards. Listen to Ottawa Red Blacks. Listen to this. 14 carries, 85 yards. Establish a run game will open the passing game. Now, I'm not saying Vernon Adams and Drew Brown are equal because I think right now Vernon Adams Jr. is best quarterback in the CFL right now, and that's no disrespect to Levi Mitchell.
Saskatchewan only got 16 yards out of the ball for
But I mean,
that's brutal.
What impresses me so much with Ottawa, though, I mean with Calgary, sorry, you have Alford, the super rookie, with 156 yards on 6 catches. Dominic Rhymes, 88 yards on 5 catches. Jalen Philpott, 86 yards on 6 catches. Eric Brooks, 50 yards on 4 catches. Tevin Jones, 24 yards on 3 catches. So, like, you have multiple guys with multiple catches. That's what's making this Calgary offense so hard to cover because you don't know where the ball's going. When VA is spreading the ball out like the way your mom's spreading out the turkey on Thanksgiving, like it's making it hard for defenses to read it. And don't tell me Saskatchewan's got a bad defense. This is a great defense, but they made this defense look like Swiss cheese. They ran the ball, they passed the ball, they did screen passes, whatever. For the most part, whatever Calgary wanted to do, Calgary did. Now, my thing is, though, and I want your guys' input on this. I thought Trevor Harris was bad. I know he threw for 425 and a TD, but I thought he was bad.
Well,
a lot of that yardage was in garbage time.
True. I'd still look at this. I'm like, I don't know how you, out of 3 running backs, the 3rd string running back from Calgary got almost more than all 3-year running back combined. That's embarrassing. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm with Lane on this one. I
don't even know if that's Trevor Harris. That's just like you said. You got to establish a running game. 100%. You can't have 3 running backs only get 13 yards in a whole game. And have a 4th string running back. A 4th string running back that would have barely played almost got more yards in 2 carries in that entire game.
Well, you wonder then too, with AJ Ouellette having an off night running, why not bring Kadeem Carey in? It doesn't affect your ratio at all.
I was surprised they didn't bring him in more.
Kadeem Carey only had 1 run. It was for 3 yards.
He looked okay, though.
I would have liked to see them mix in Kadeem Carey a little bit more, especially when you're only down 2 scores in the 4th quarter. You had time. You could have ran the ball a little bit just to try to establish something. And you're going to look too, and I'm curious on your guys' perspectives here too. You had 2 third down attempt conversions in the 4th quarter in chip shot field goal range. If you kick those 2 field goals, you're down by 8 now on your final drive. Now, maybe Calgary's offense kicks it back up again, only being up 1 score. But if you kick those field goals, this is an 8-point difference. And all of a sudden, maybe Saskatchewan finds a way Did
But
you
on
guys
the
agree?
flip
Did you guys agree with at the time with going for the 2-point con or going for the third and shorts? Because I didn't, and they were both they were 3rd and 3 on both of them, and I thought they should have kicked the field goals.
I didn't.
I-
yeah.
I do agree because if you kick the field goal, you're starting Calgary on the 40th-yard line, and Calgary's
Trust your
offense is on
defense.
fire.
Trust your defense. That's what you're built on. Your DNA in Saskatchewan is defense and
I
running.
agree, but for whatever reason, they weren't really there today. I mean, they were for some points, but not the whole game.
You got to trust your studs. That's like saying for Pittsburgh, and they need a goal. They shouldn't put Sidney Crosby on the ice with 30 seconds left because he's a -2. At the end of the day, I'm putting Sidney Crosby on the ice because he's my best player. The best part of Saskatchewan is their defense. There's no denying it. That's the way they're built. Corey Mace is their head coach, who's been a defensive coordinator his whole CFL career, pretty much.
Yeah,
like as a coach, at least, and he played defense when he played. Like, to me, you gotta trust your defense that they can get a stop, and they got stops too. You gotta look at it. Calgary only put up 7 points in the second half.
They did, yeah, that's true.
But mind you, it's because Calgary wasn't really pushing the ball downfield. They're just like, well, let's just not take any risks.
Right, you can't blame
I mean, there's two ways of looking at it. I mean, I don't know if you this is the really random tangent, but I don't know if you remember the episode.
I love random tangents.
There's that episode that just made me think about it, that episode in Young Sheldon where his dad's coaching the football team, and Sheldon's like, why don't you just go for it? And the dad's like, you never do that in football. He's like, yeah, but statistically, you have a better chance of going for it to get the extra down than giving the other team the score. Now, that might actually, I don't know, that might actually be true.
It is true, actually.
I mean, technically, that is you because you have a 50-50 shot of getting it, right? But I don't know. I kind of you got to look at the situation of the game. I didn't even agree with Hamilton going for it there on that 3rd and goal, 4 yards away. I know you're like, well, you're only 4 yards away. Yeah, but you get a field goal, then you get the ball back. You only need the field goal to win the game. They got lucky with that Lawler touchdown, but they put themselves in a bad situation. I feel like Saskatchewan
I agree with you.
Sort of did the same thing here, where it's like, kick those. Sometimes you got to take the points when you get them. And if this is a game where the offense is
there's time left, like there's plenty of time left in both those situations. It panned out for Hamilton because Ottawa's offense was too passive.
And you want to make another argument too. At least in that game, at least in the Hamilton game, there wasn't a lot of offense. So maybe you could argue push for the points because there wasn't a lot of offense going back for this game. The ball was slinging both sides of the field, left and right here. So I would argue you kind of need to take the points when you can get them because Calgary was feeling marching down the field every time, getting points on almost every drive here. So you're going risking 3 points here, and you do it twice. I think you had to, in this situation in this game, I think it would have been better to take the 6 points and give yourself a chance
now,
in the game at the end.
I don't know if this is in your head or not. Brett Lothar was 1 for 3 tonight.
I was going to say
that.
Is that in your thought?
That
He also
be.
missed an extra. No, he made the extra point. Sorry, but like
Maybe.
he had an off night.
I was going to say
And
both
that-
field goal kickers didn't do very well today.
Maybe.
And
Well, get
another
another.
big loss for Saskatchewan. Mario Alford left this game with an injury,
Ooh.
with some sort of
Yeah.
ankle. He
That's
was
not
walking on the sidelines and he looked okay, so hopefully it's more of a precautionary thing. But if Super Alford's out, that
And,
really hurts the Riders.
I forget the guy's name, but there was a Calgary injury right at the end of the game. It looks very serious too. We'll have to keep an eye on that one.
Yeah, I don't remember who was injured, but
I think
yeah.
it was the defensive player, but
We'll have to see here. But I mean, right now, I don't know if you guys will agree with me or not. I think never mind best team in the West. I think Calgary's best team in the league right now.
yeah, I said
The way they just dominated Saskatchewan and Winnipeg. Like, don't get me wrong. And again, I'm not saying this whatever about Hamilton. You beat Montreal with a backup quarterback, and you beat Ottawa, who even their own fans think they suck. And Calgary has gone and beat 2 very good football teams very easily.
Yeah.
That's not taking away what Hamilton's doing, by the way, Lane. I'm just thinking of when I'm ranking.
No.
I will be putting out my power rankings over the next couple of days.
I said that to Jacob.
And right now, Calgary's the best team in the league. I'm probably
2-0 Chase.
There we go.
Yay.
I was going to
I
say
hate saying this. Hamilton right now is probably the second best team in the CFL.
When we were watching the games, I said, Jacob, I guess I'm going to have change in the power rankings for next week. But you got to say quickly, Calgary's amazing. But don't forget, this is all without Bennington. And Bennington is arguably the best receiver they have. I mean, yeah, the Moose at 6'6" is an incredible Wookiee, but he's still a Wookiee. He could struggle, but Bennington looks
I wanted to pull a lane.
yes, he can.
Oh yeah, I was gonna ask. I forgot there was one thing I did forget that. Jacob, what was your opinion on Reggie Stubblefield debuting for the Ticats tonight?
I thought he looked good.
He did, yeah.
Considering he hasn't played in almost 2 years, I thought he looked good.
Oh, I was shocked how good he looked.
And that's what I mean of Hamilton, too. Like, that defense is just going to get better as Stubblefield gets more comfortable in that unit.
Because he's like a leader for that.
I just thought about that.
I thought it was such a smart pickup by Hamilton when they brought him in. And Hamilton said that they were aware he wouldn't play the first few games in the season. They didn't care. They want him for the end, not the beginning.
He was great at Grey Cup victory for Montreal a couple years ago.
Oh, he's a stud. He's an absolute stud. But like, I just want to go over some other numbers with you guys for Calgary as well that I was really impressed with in this one.
They were awesome.
So, as Lane pointed out, Vernon Adams Jr. practically rushed more than all of Saskatchewan.
So did Quincy Vaughn.
Quincy Vaughn, short yardage quarterback, had 12 yards. So did your backup running back in Luda Chick. We'll call him Chipotle because I can't pronounce his last name. He had 2 runs. He had 20 yards on 2 carries. You look, Calgary as a unit rushed for over 100 yards again. Wow. And when you can run the ball like that against the best, going into this game, the Riders were the best run defense team in the league, and they did not look like it.
No, not at all.
That's what I'm saying. Right now, Calgary, the Stampeders are the best team in the CFL. They are the team to beat.
Yeah, for sure.
I believe they play Winnipeg next again, which is going to be a tough task. You think they're going to beat them, Dan?
Well, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying they did beat them before.
True, they did. But, I mean...
I think I was without Claros, right?
Yeah, they played the Blue... No, Claros played that game. He was played terrible. But they played the Blue Bombers. But the big difference to that one will be it will be in Winnipeg. The loudest stadium in the league.
Just to put into perspective, the difference between the rushing yards from Calgary and Saskatchewan was 118.
That's bad.
That's crazy.
But
that's with Calgary having someone in the negative numbers. That's
Calgary though. Their next 2 will. It was interesting. Dave Dickinson said this stretch was going to be a real test on how good this team is because they have to play. They beat Winnipeg. They beat Saskatchewan. Now they got to play Winnipeg again. Then they play Montreal. So this stretch really will show over these next 2 games could really define for Calgary. Are they the best team in the CFL?
Right.
Because Winnipeg and Montreal are kind of 2, I would say, tier 1 teams in the league. Very curious to see if Davis Alexander is back from Montreal next week or not, or if it's MBT who puts up good stats but can't seem to win games. And Dan, I'm sorry. I know you're an MBT fan, but numbers don't lie. People do. And MBT, had 4 or 5 wins last year at the most? And he's 0-2 as a starter this year.
I don't. Not a big Mikhail Bethel-Thompson.
I would like to take him out for quesadillas at Chuck's Roadhouse, Dan's favorite restaurant. A little inside joke there. We won't explain that joke to the viewers. But no, Calgary, you know what? They still got 2 more. They still got 2 more tests to pass, right? They passed the first 2 exams. Now they got 2 more to pass.
Yeah.
In this stretch. You got to beat Winnipeg in Winnipeg, and then you play Montreal at home. Before then, you get a little bit of a break when you play, no offense to the Ottawa Red Blacks, but just looking at difficulty in the schedule, the Ottawa Red Blacks are not as difficult as a series in Derry. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, if the Rough Riders, though, you just got to be disappointed in this game. They just didn't well. And let's say the Lions beat the Elks tomorrow, which is theoretically possible. All of a sudden, you got it now where things are getting tight, right?
Yeah. For sure.
Because you have it where Riders will be playing the Lions next week. If the Lions get another win, which I believe would be their 3rd win of the season, all of a sudden the West is getting pretty tight, right? So the Rough Riders really need to make sure that they, you know what, go back to the drawing board, find their identity again, run the ball better, and maybe take a bit pressure off of Trevor Harris, who I get he put up some big numbers, but I really feel was off tonight. He did not look 100%.
I mean, I gotta really feel for the Rough Rider fans too, and I don't really know why Saskatchewan played as bad as they did. You think about it, the fans stayed where how loyal the fans are. Over 15,000 fans stayed over 3 hours last night to see if the game was going to go on or not. A lot of them had to get hotels and different arrangements, and there's a country music festival going on in Regina as well. So very hard to find hotels that game. Most of the fans showed up for the game next. Calgary was so desperate for hotel rooms. A lot of the players had to sleep in the university dorms. And let's be honest, us folks that went to college and university, sleeping in one of those dorms is like sleeping on cardboard. So you would think that Saskatchewan had the advantage of being at home for the extra day and the extra night and having all their fans. And, Harris said Jacob was one of the most miserable 400-yard games I ever seen. He flew over 400 yards and got 20 points out of it. It was I was shocked that both games are so low in scoring for the yardage that all four teams had. But anyway, I just mean it's really disappointing for Saskatchewan. I think they had this massive advantage over Calgary, being on the road, being stuck in the next day, being stuck sleeping on a cardboard, and that poor air quality, which I guess Calgary has bad air quality at times too, right? But it's I don't know. I just thought going into it, Saskatchewan had the advantage. So,
but one thing I will say that's very weird, I think I set the combined points way too high.
You did. Yeah.
I had 57 for Stamps versus Riders, and I had 55 for Red Blacks versus Tiger Cats.
I thought it would be over on both.
Hey, this time Chazzy will let him know. He did much better this week. He picked less for both.
He did.
So far so good for the Chaznator 6.99. He's getting that update so he can be fully cooled by milk, maybe even chocolate milk. What's better? Let me know in the comments. White milk or chocolate milk? Let me know. But
Trailer at the moment.
Now I am curious though for you guys though. It's a big game tomorrow, and I mean we will try to come on and do a pregame for the Elks versus the Lions, and that's a big game for both teams. And do you feel there's more pressure on the Elks now to get a second win now that the Stamps are 4-1, the Riders have lost a game, and now they have a chance to tie the Lions? For fourth in the West.
This is a huge game for Edmonton. I think most important of the
year.
No
debate for the chocolate milk. Okay, thank you very much, Anthony. No debate. Chocolate milk is the way to go. We'll let Chazzy know he needs to make himself cool down on chocolate milk only. But yeah, I agree with you, Dan. This is an absolutely huge game for this Elks club. I think it's a big game for the Lions too, though.
I think the Elks are going to win this game.
So do I.
I think the Elks look really good for that last game. And I don't think the Elks is as bad as their record is. I don't think they're as bad. Everyone says this team is good on paper. They know how big of a game it is. Trey Ford really wants to prove himself as a franchise quarterback. Well, this game is a chance. This game could possibly be one of his most important games of his career, because if he can win this game and stay in the mix in the standings throughout the years, then those final games at the end of the year will be important to Trey Ford, and they'll be the biggest games of the year, his career getting the playoffs. If he loses this game, it could be over by tomorrow.
It's tough because if you lose this one too, then you fall to 0-2 in the season series against the Lions. So if there's a tiebreaker, and the West is so good this year, and I really think Toronto and Ottawa can pick it up in the East. So I don't think getting a crossover is going to be so easy.
Yeah, I do too.
So it's going to be tough, right? I'm curious, do you guys think the 48 points combined is still realistic? Because it's been a low-scoring week.
Yeah.
I think so too. That's the line we set on the Streakers app, and that's what I'm taking still. I'm still taking the over on that 48 points.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's more, but we're going to see a more explosive game.
I think so, yeah.
But I will say, though, I thought the doubleheader today, as much as I hate to say it, I thought the Stamps Rough Rider game was a little underwhelming. just because I was so hyped for that game. I thought the Red Blacks and Tiger Cats, truthfully, that game was better than I thought it was going to be. Real good defensive battle between two teams that were really hungry for a win.
Yeah, for sure.
But no, I can't wait for the games tomorrow. We're gonna have some great action, and of course, stay locked in on all our social medias. We'll be posting whenever we can about what's going on there, and stay locked in as Mr. Morfor is going to be announcing his new channel very, very soon.
Automotive related.
He keeps his clothes on, don't worry. But thank you very much, everyone, for watching this live edition of the Streakers Island podcast. Look for more Streakers Island content. Make sure to follow all the social medias and download the Streakers app today on your mobile.
Play along with us.
Play along with us. Anthony, enjoy your chocolate milk tonight, because, I mean, there's nothing better than chocolate milk at 11:09 at night.
And watch out for the new Streakers hats coming out, too. We can get an amazing hat and help out a youth girls hockey team too in the local area.
2 for 2. It's like Toonie Tuesday at Taco Bell and KFC.
Yeah.
But I'm the self-proclaimed sports analyst, joined by Lane Dashing Dashko and Mr. More for Your Money. We will see you all very soon on the flip side. Have a good night, everyone.
Goodbye.